present day woman, woman, woman.
Welcome to Every
in
Way
every
Woman. There are
way.
some major changes
Yeah,
happening in the talk show world.
I'm living my life, living day by day. Are you in every way woman?
Live from Los Angeles, here's Every Way Woman.
Welcome back to Every Way Woman. So on the topic of motherhood, are parents raising their children for the real world, ladies?
I'm not really sure.
I know Anna has a few thoughts on this.
I think that nowadays, I think in general, I don't have children, so parents tend to baby their kids too much. But then again, I don't have children.
Especially now.
But if I did have children, I would too. Like,
But you
it's
know what?
kind of like,
But it's not
I
just
don't know.
parents, it's the whole institution of anything our kids touch. Like, for example, the sports teams where everyone gets a trophy, everyone is not awesome. You know, everybody's not that great.
yes,
How about
and,
like
and
7 years old though?
yes, and,
So,
There is
if we
something
don't
to be said about,
they have to learn disappointment, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, there's always going to be someone
learning
on
to
the
be
team.
gracious as a loser.
Uh-huh.
Well, exactly.
Okay.
And if you don't ever lose, then, you know, what's that going to teach you?
No,
Because at
no,
the
you're
time
right.
that real life hits you and you actually do
But
lose,
see,
then
no,
they
you do.
these
You have
meltdowns.
to learn at some point that you're going to be judged, right? At some point, someone is going to stand in front of you and judge you. You know, we hate to use that word, judgment, but it's not a negative thing.
Well, but it's inevitable.
It doesn't have to
Judgment
be a
is-
negative word.
Absolutely,
That's the thing.
judgment is inevitable. But when you're raising
I'm
children,
raising children, a boy and a girl.
do you think that they're prepared for the real world?
You know what? I felt bad. My son knew I was working, and he stubbed his fingers in the door, and I was like, "That's what you get, because I'm working." Like, you know I'm working. I told you to sit down or be with your group. But that's me. Because I know life can be hard, you know. But what I do is I try to make sure that they have a balance. And I think as a parent, you need to give them a balance. You need to let them still be a child and still give them that balance of reality.
There's this new parenting technique that you can't let the child cry. Anytime
no,
like
they need to cry.
24/7, physical touch
My
and
kids
nurturing.
carry groceries to
Right.
the car. They have to earn their little $1 or $5 that I give them because I want them to. And when they have a birthday party, we go to Party City together. You pick your cake. You pick what color you want because I don't want them to be lukewarm and confused all the time. I want them to know directly what it is that they want. So when the time comes, they can go after it, and nobody else has to make the decision for them.
At one point, my daughter, she was very picky, and we're trying to get her to start to choose clothes. Now, she's really super picky now, but when we took part in that. But we would put lace stuff. I would lay stuff out and go, pick something.
Yeah.
And if she didn't pick something, she had to pick what I put on her.
Well, there you go.
She's like, I want that. No, go with this.
Anna had an interesting question.
What about what's on TV, though? What is the TV showing
Say
our children?
Oh my
Even though I don't have
gosh.
children.
There was a TV show, and I won't say the name, but it was showing the kids how to lie to their parents.
Oh, my Lord.
See what I mean?
The mom would say, Timmy, go clean your room. I'm going to do it in a minute. They're texting.
Right.
And then say, give me 5 minutes. And I was like, tonight, turn that off right now. And she was
What
like,
happened to the magic school bus to the
I
land of
know.
wonders of science? And that's just
because
TV's
that's
changing a lot of
not
things.
cool
It is.
anymore.
But I was talking, our comedian who was here, and I was talking to a friend who was telling me something very similar, that they use television shows for learning moments. Like, okay, this is a prison show. And I was like, you watch that with your kids? They're like, yeah, but I tell them, if you do this and this and this is where you end up. This is what you want to happen to you. So in some of those cases.
Just like that comedian.
Yes, exactly. Earlier in their thing, I was like, oh, yeah, I've heard that before. But
I have to say, I have been exposed to the results of what happens when kids are not told no. I'm a human resources professional, and I run an internship program specifically for high school students. And I distinctly remember we have program guidelines, and they are very clearly communicated. And we had one student who was selected for the internship, and they couldn't fulfill one part of like the preliminary requirements because they were going out of the country, and you need to be present for it. So they had their parent call, first the workforce development center that we work through. They had the parent call there and ask for an exception. And when they said no there, the parent called me and asked for an exception. And I first of all, if it's the parent calling and not the student, I already know who's driving it. That's an automatic turnoff.
Right.
But then when I told her no, and now mind you, I'm the program facilitator, the buck stops with me. When I told her no, she politely asked me, well, is there anybody else I could talk to?
Wow.
I let her know. I said, you know what? It's your guys' decision whether you take this trip or you don't, but I'm let you know your son has a difficult decision in front of him. And ultimately, he didn't do
But
it.
what's wrong with that though?
No. I see what's wrong with that because
Well,
no.
I will call anybody who I need to call to get my child into a program.
And you know what? That's understandable. But when we have 500 students who all wanted to be present and and who tried to compete for this and weren't selected and were willing to fulfill the requirements,
right?
We have to draw the line somewhere.
And that is something that when we hear no, it's a good thing. I remember reading a book and someone told me you can't tell your child no. And I remember thinking, what do you mean? Life is about no.
Right.
They need to learn how to hear it, how to accept it, and how to process it.
Digest it and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I want life to be a land of limitless opportunity.
So you must got a lot of yes.
Yeah. So, right. And I know who called the producers to get you on.
Maybe it was my mama, but I am grateful for that call, Cheryl. We'll be back with more Every Way Woman. Stay tuned. Coming up next, more Every Way Woman.
Are you an every way woman? Are you an every way woman?
For a couple of years, I grew up without a father. My mother had to play both roles as a mother and a father. With us today is a single parent who is not only making a difference in the lives of his children, but also in our community. Stay tuned to Every Way Woman.
Welcome to Every Way Woman. We love to give the everyday person a voice, and today we're focusing on fathers. We'd like to welcome Marcus Ham to the show, and I want to know what it's like to be an active participant in your son's life while being separated from his mother.
I think the concept of a co-parent is one that you don't really hear a lot about in society, but when things don't work out between the parents, I think it's always important for those parents to, just still work to take care of the child.
How do you do that?
Well, you just have to become a daily active part of the child's life. It's mandatory, and you have to be motivated to do that. You know that this child needs structure. They need this, both parents in their life. It makes such an impact on every stage of their development from birth all the way up into adulthood.
How do you, what if one partner is not willing to be an active parent? How do you work over that to stay, to as you said, be in part, because it's mandatory? How do you work through that?
Unfortunately, everyone has different circumstances. It really does take that individual to kind of step up and really look at themselves and ask the question, why? Why do I not want to be involved in this child's life? Is it because of the mother or the father, or is it because I'm afraid? Maybe it's just I don't know what to do. No one knows what to do when they first step into a child's life.
Were you afraid of that?
I was afraid, but the way that certain people handle fear, the fight or flight, I think it was the fight. It was okay. This is here. I can't do anything about this. I can't change it. I'm not going to try it. Right? You embrace it.
It's interesting though, because so many single moms right now are not letting fathers participate. They're saying, "I've got this. I can do it all. I don't need you." And I'm so glad that you're really giving a face to the father and saying, "No, you do need me."
Yeah, we all have our roles in a child's life.
What does your role look like?
My role for my son, I think, really has a lot to do with giving him a mirror image to look at. He emulates a lot of the things that I do. He
like
sees,
what?
From a kid standpoint, we love superheroes. My son, he's a big Batman fan.
All right, okay.
And he calls me Superman.
Wow, that's so cute.
Yeah, so.
Marcus, where did you get this concept from? Where did you learn the importance of being a father?
Well, thankfully, I had both parents in my life, and my father played a very strong role and continues to this day.
what did he teach you? I mean, really, what did he teach you that you've transferred over to your son now? That's helping
Especially
as a
since you're
father?
Superman.
Exactly.
I mean,
Superman.
Daddy
He taught me the importance of being a man in the household. You know, he even at a younger age, he kind of warned against the potential of, you know, being in a situation where the relationship may not work out, and how important it is that no matter what, you know, you need to be a father to that child.
And Jocelyn made a good point. Is oftentimes single mothers say I can do it all. Talk a little bit about the notion that the only man who can teach a man to be a man is a man. What are your thoughts about that?
is the Superman.
I do agree to the extent, and of course I understand that this isn't always possible in everyone's life, and there's nothing to be held against any child that doesn't have a father figure in their life. But I have to say that, you know, being a father and seeing the difference in what my role is in my son's life, I know that my role is necessary to him, and I know that it's going to make a very big difference in the outcome of his future. And I think that more fathers need to take on that position and be a daily part of their child's life.
So what would you say to those deadbeat dads?
I would say, you know, it's time to man up. You know, it's time to put aside whatever your personal issues are, no matter what they are, whether they're personal from your childhood or whatever is going on between you and the person in your life, and just focus on that child.
You know, I love what you said about the roles. And traditionally, the role of the mother is the nurturer. What would you say is the role of the father in a child's life? The specific role?
I think educator, structure builder. You know, children, especially at an earlier age, you know, they're wild. We all know that.
We know
And
that.
they learn so much in such a short amount of time when they're children.
Yeah, absolutely. They learn so much, and I mean, they're following your daily routines, and routine is a very important part of being a parent on a daily
How has
level.
it affected you personally being a father? I mean, before you were a father, you were Marcus.
Right. I was Marcus. I moved to Los Angeles from the East Coast, and I came with the dreams of film and fame. Having a son, you know, it became more about him than it did about me. And my focus went towards what can I do that's going to work for both of us? What's going to guarantee that he has a future and give me the opportunity to grow as well?
So were you the same man now that you were then?
I can say, you know, in a lot of ways I'm not. And I say that because...
For the better?
Yeah, definitely for the better, you know, because it's not just me anymore. You know, I don't make any decisions for myself. I make decisions for the both of us.
You know, Marcus, what's the one thing that you want your son to always remember about you? What's the one thing?
I
And
think
he's grown and
I just want him to remember that I was always there, you know, and I want him to know that came with the choice that I made, and that he's going to have that choice in his time as well.
wow, that's powerful that you were always there.
Thank you for always being there, for being that superhero dad. And I hope that serves to an example to the fathers that are watching. And the mothers, let him be a father. Stay tuned with more Every Way Woman when we come back. We'll be back with Everyday Fitness.
Are you in every way woman? Are you in every way woman?
Coming up next, we have Carly, who's going to be talking to us about benefits of weightlifting. I better see you at the gym later after this. Stay with us here at Every Way Woman.
We're going to set the record straight on women lifting weights. Our fitness expert is here to explain. You know, I'm actually excited you're here.
Yeah.
First off, I'm loving your legs.
Well, this comes from weight training, so this is why I'm here.
I saw you walk in, I'm like, I wish I had those legs.
Yeah.
I've always wondered though, me, you know, a bit chunkier, so I don't want to turn my fatness into, you know, muscle. Like, I mean,
So you're afraid of like bulking up? Is that what?
bulking up.
Okay.
That's what it's
I'm
called?
glad that you brought that up because that is a misconception. A lot of women are very afraid of doing.
You have to lose weight first, right? Or-
No, but the thing is, muscle helps you lose body fat. Okay,
Oh, I
so
didn't know that.
imagine your muscles being an engine, and they're the ones, and body fat becomes the thing that it burns. So the more muscle you have, the higher metabolism, the bigger the engine, the more calories and more fat that you're going to burn, and more leaner you become. So you're not going to bulk. You're actually going to help lean out when you add muscle. Right. Bulking comes from when you have increased body fat and little muscle tissue. So it's actually the opposite.
Wow, all these
Yeah.
words, muscle tissue. And
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, but I'm getting it. I'm trying to
okay.
understand because,
Perfect.
you know, I don't think I've ever, I mean, for me, and when I go to the gym, it's
Yeah.
like I exercise, you know, but it's mostly on the treadmill. So
Right.
this whole new, you know, lifting weights thing is a bit different
Right, but
for
think
me.
about this. So when you're going on the machine, on the cardio machine, the more muscles that you have, the more calories you're burning. Does that make sense?
But then you kind of said that lifting weights, you kind of burn calories too?
Lifting weights.
I didn't know
Lifting
that.
weights, you're adding to your engine, which is your muscles, lean mass muscles
Okay.
that you have to your body. So the more muscles you have, that's why guys have a higher metabolism because they have more lean tissue or muscles.
What's
And,
metabolism?
It's when basically your body is using the food or anything that you have, storage, what you eat, and burning it up. That's your metabolism. So you have metabolism just to keep you alive right now, to breathe. Your body is burning calories, okay? And then when you exercise, it's even higher and you're burning more calories. So what's gonna make a difference is you have more lean tissue, such as men have bigger engines for the fact they have more muscle, they burn more calories. Such as like I know women get frustrated when they do like a boyfriend, let's say my boyfriend and I are gonna have a little contest and lose body weight, and the women are working harder but the men are barely doing anything and they're losing so
and
much
they're all-
faster, right?
right?
For the fact that their natural composition is that they have more lean tissue and they have more testosterone to make them burn faster.
So then, for example, let's say I go to the gym. What kind of weights would you recommend for me to do?
Are you beginner, right?
Total beginner.
So if you're a beginner, you want to start maybe like 12 to 15 reps. So that's how many times you're going to lift, such as like if you're going to do some
these are
bicep
reps.
curls,
Okay.
right? But let's say for women, they have problems with like the back of the arm. So tricep exercise is really important. So you could do maybe 12 to 15 reps or times with the weight where you feel comfortable that you can do it 12, 15 times. So you kind of have to play a little bit. So, and you want to make sure that you're always pushing yourself a little bit so you're getting stronger and you're building muscle so you can burn calories. So do maybe the last few reps of those, you should start feeling a little resistance. You'll feel a little tough.
What do you do for your legs?
This comes from squats, lunges, and heavy lifting. So I'm not gonna get. I think I look okay, right?
You lift heavy ones?
Yeah, but in order to get these legs, I have to push myself, challenge my body, to get where I need to go. So that's from heavy lifting and consistently.
Now that we're talking about heavy lifting, what is too much lifting for anyone? Maybe somebody that's watching right now.
Too much lifting? I don't know if there's too much. I mean, if you're doing improper form, so then you don't want to do too much where you're doing improper form and you get hurt. You will see that in the gym as well. Let's say that I don't want to knock the guys, but sometimes the guys, their ego comes with weight training, right? And then you'll see them doing crazy, like swinging and whatnot. And, and that comes with, they just have this challenge and they want to be able to lift that weight. But if they do that, they can also get hurt. So proper technique is very important to resistance training.
How can they get hurt though from weight training?
You could throw your back out.
Okay,
Such as if you're swinging, if you're doing, let's say, a heavy dumbbell curl, right, and you swing your body, right, and then you can be like, oh, my back, right, and you didn't even use the muscles to do the exercise, you used your back.
Is it true that, like, this is one fear I've always had.
Yeah.
As you get older, you can't exercise as much, and I'm thinking, like, weights.
Right, it's a little bit harder, but actually it's more important that you exercise when you're older because when you get older, your muscles actually atrophy or get smaller, and thus your metabolism decreases.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
I
you're
learned so
welcome.
much. Thank you for your advice,
Of
and we
course.
will be right back with Everyway Woman.
Are you in every way, woman? Are you in every way woman?
Every night I've tried to fight with whatever's left inside. But did I mention I love your smile and attention? You stole my heart like a thief in the night, and it's alright, and it's alright. And if these words don't move you, will come off the page, then I've wasted time that I could save. How did I tell you that I want you? Only got 26 letters and that'll do. The only time to take a chance is today. I'm trying to grab it but it's slipping away. But I'm telling you, when I need you, I know I should have put my heart in a cage. In a cage, I know I should have locked it away. I should have locked it away. And now we're staring from across the room, and it's hard to see through broken glasses. It's hard to move forward when you're stuck in the past. And I'm begging and pleading, and I'm asking you for your reasons. I know they're thinking you wouldn't leave. What's wrong with me? But I was stuck in a daydream. And if these words will move you, will come off the page, then I've wasted time that I could save. How did I tell you that I want you? I've only got 26 letters and that'll do. The only time to take a chance is today. Trying to grab it but it's slipping away. All I'm telling you is I need you. I know I should have put my heart in a cage. In a cage. No, I should have locked it away. I should have locked it away. In a cage. No, I should have locked it away. I should have locked it away. And if these words don't move you, will come off the page, then I've wasted time that I could have saved. How did I tell you that I want you? I've only got 26 letters and that'll do. The only time to take a chance is today. I'm trying to grab it but it's slipping away. What I'm telling you is I need you. I know I should have put my heart in a cage. In a cage. I know I should have locked it away. I should have locked it away. In a cage. In a cage. I know I should have locked it away. I should have locked it away. Should have locked it away. Away. I know I should have locked it away. Should have locked it away.
Thank you. That was really fun. Thank you.
Everywaywoman.com to find out how you can match our donations of undergarments for needs.
This has been an Everyway Woman production.
I'm an everyday woman, 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 in every way, yeah, yeah. I'm living my life, living day by day, yeah, yeah. Are you in every way woman?